Shanti. Welcome to today's Yoga Betty. A few weeks ago, we were doing a yoga experimentation on the foundation relationships, which are the mother-father, the teacher, and the Satguru. And if you didn't get a chance to join us that day, I can recommend that you have a look at the video on the YouTube channel, because those three relationships really are the foundation for us, and we need to continually practice these relationships in order to gain further experiences and attainment. This week we've had a few murlis and blessings and avyak points on this theme of Baba being the friend, Baba being the companion, and also more generally Baba emphasizing to us that we have to practice all relationships with Baba. Only as we practice all relationships with Baba can we access all the attainments from Baba. And so we're going to spend the next 30 minutes or so having a time in yoga where we're going to focus on the relationship with Baba as the friend. Lady Janki used to say that this was the relationship she had most resistance to at the start. When you're coming from a devotee mindset, you have a lot of reverence for God. And sometimes it can be easier to accept Baba as the father, as the teacher, as the Sadguru. But the friend is more on our level. And that can be a struggle if you're looking up to God in that way. And she had so much reverence for Shub Baba and for Brahma Baba that she had a struggle to think of Baba as being on her level, being a friend. But she noticed that Didi Manmohini was very good at relating to Baba as the friend. So she told Didi Manmohini was always her friend and mentor since the beginning. She got along so well with Didi Manmohini. And they had a very special friendship. And Didi gave her some advice, but then Didi had not intended that Didi would go and tell Baba, but she did. She shared with Baba that this is what Lady Janki is saying. So in those days, of course, they had an opportunity. So Baba actually called Devi especially to spend some time with him as the friend. And we think about the type of timetable that Baba used to keep in Madhavan when different groups were there. And you can see how balanced he was. Of course, the day begins with Amrit Vela and then Morally. And during Amrit Vela and Morally, Baba is naturally more serious, more focused, as we would expect. And then after Morally, Baba would usually write letters because the post would go at 9 a.m. And so Baba would be responding to different letters. And then Baba would take some breakfast. And usually around 9:30, quarter to 10, he would go for a walk. And then after the walk, and during the walk, he might walk with some BKs that are there. So that was a good opportunity. And then Baba took lunch exactly at 12 o'clock. This is why when you're in Madhuban, you'll notice that lunch is exactly at 12 now as well. They offer Borg about 11:30, 11:45, you'll notice. So that goes back to those days. And then later, then maybe some rest. And then at 4 p.m., Baba would play outdoor games. And the area where the Tower of Peace is, that was the sports court. Now Baba has a big peace park, which is a little distance away. But in those days, all of the activity was happening just in that courtyard area. And they could put a net through the middle and play tennis or volleyball or badminton, or they could leave it open and play cricket. So Baba used to play cricket, particularly with young brothers who are coming and others, anyone, but the young brothers often need that, don't they? They need some sort of sports engagement. So people like Dada Jagdish, Dada Bridgman, Dada Nirvana, they share these experiences. They were all young in those days. And then 5 p.m., Baba used to play indoor games, cards, chess, Ludo, carom. And then there might be like dinner time and then evening yoga. And Baba would then speak another night morally around 9 p.m. This is why in Madhubad, the night class starts at 9 p.m. even now until 10 p.m. So you can see how Baba played the different roles and relationships, even in his timetable. And for us at this time, we don't get that opportunity in the physical sense. But Baba is expecting us to recreate these relationships through our attention on yoga. Ultimately, the attainments we gain are through the power of yoga. Experience we are now having in the yagya is a little bit more like Karachi days because the daddies didn't live with Baba then. Baba was on the other side of Karachi, on the coastal side, and the daddies were living in 5 bungalows, 5 houses, supervised by Mana on the other side of Karachi. So they would meet Baba sometimes. And Lady Janki used to say, like, for example, one time she was unwell, and Baba and Mama, they used to go and visit the patients most days. And Baba came to visit one evening when she was ill, and she noticed that Baba and Mama, both of them, they wouldn't give that much drishti or give that much time those days because both of them had this feeling that the daddies have to have their own yoga with Shiv Baba. Because of course, if Baba and Mama are just sitting there giving drishti all day, we will just sit there in front of them, right? If we can just take drishti all day, then we don't have to make any effort ourselves. But Baba and Mama spent very little time like that. And Daddy Prakashmani used to say this when Avyakt Bapdada was coming, and you'll recall we were watching the videos and hearing the Murlis from the 1980s, just last year and the year before. And those are the years when Ranjan Ben came to Baba, and we had also gone in 88 to Madhubal. Maybe some of you who are older, you also went at that time. And I can remember meeting Baba every 3 days, and he was staying at least 12 hours, like the whole night. And Eddie Prakashvani used to always say that they never spent this much time with Baba in the Sakar days when Brahma Baba was on. They never had that much time with Baba. She would say that they would meet, like what I described was when the groups were coming to Madhubam. But if you were generally in Madhubam, outside of the group time, then Baba would come for Morley, and then she would say, you didn't see Baba the whole day until the evening time Morley again. Baba was busy in his tasks, and he expected you to get on with your tasks. And you have to remember Shri Baba. And we hear in the Morley as well how Baba says to us that you have to have all the same experiences like they did in Karachi as well. And the daddies were sustained a lot through board messages at that time. Pretty much every day there was a board message. And the way they used to do it was at lunchtime, the board messenger will take the board and offer it to Shobaba. And Shobaba will show some sort of a scene, maybe of the Golden Age. You'll remember that Baba mentions this in the morning. He says that you have seen these scenes of the Golden Age. You've seen these many, and sometimes even from different parts of the cycle, like even from the Copper Age and so on. Even at the end of the Iron Age, all the things that were going to happen. Baba showed them a lot of things. And then 5 p.m. every evening, or maybe sometimes a little bit later, it was a cultural program. So a team of daddies, they would have spent the afternoon preparing the drama enactment of the Borg message. So not only would they listen to the Borg message, a team of daddies would then enact the Borg message, and they used to do this every day. There was a lot of drama. So this concept of sports, drama, being together, all of these things, they actually, what we're experiencing now, we're being sustained a lot through board messages. We're being sustained through, the gathering, like they were also in a gathering in Karachi. It reminds me a lot, actually. I think, we're getting those experiences now. So one thing we have to improve on is our yoga, because these daddies were very focused on their yoga. And through their yoga, they experienced all the relationships with Sri Baba. So today, let's focus and spend a few minutes now connecting with Baba as the friend. And that sense of equality that we have to have with Baba as the friend, that sense of loyalty, that sense, that you got someone on your side. You got someone you can call on, but also you got someone who you can do nonsense things with as well. It doesn't have to be important. The thing about the father teacher Satguru, you can sometimes feel unless it's important, you don't go to them. But with the friend, it can be all sorts of things. Just whatever's going on in your life, whatever's going on in your mind. But Baba's saying don't separate. You have to remain in the combined form. And so get into that practice of Baba as the friend. So let's spend a few minutes now. And the way that we do it is we visualize 2 points of light in Brahma Baba's forehead. And we begin to relate to Baba as the friend who is so loyal, so available, the friend who likes you, someone who likes being with you. Baba the friend gives us that real feeling of togetherness. You don't need to do things on your own. You don't need to feel that you are alone at any time. Having this yoga, if any of you wanted to write to Baba, then you are welcome to do that as well, whatever you prefer. Sometimes you want to write something to your friend. You want to just lighten the load in your mind. And you know that your friend is not going to judge you. Some of the relationships with Baba, they're assessment relationships, aren't they? Like the teacher, the Sadguru. So there's going to be an element of judgment because it's an assessment. But the friend is not that. Your friend is not there to assess you. So sometimes it's just nice to write, just to share. of Baba as the friend. This is where we come into action and activity. These images of Mama and Baba playing badminton or having their badminton rackets, sitting on the swing. I think firstly, it shows us the friendship between both of them. At that time, they were the only seniors as well, so everything was based on them. And their friendship was very important. Two very different generations, two very different backgrounds, two genders, and so on. But the friendship was important. And you have these moments of activity like badminton, which really show us that actually it's not about yoga is not just about sitting down, but it's about bringing Baba as the friend into our activities of the day. It's not just activities which are directly linked with service as well. Of course, we must do that. So if we are doing directly Baba's service, then we know that we have to remember Baba is Karavanha and we are Karanha. It's Baba that's actually doing everything and achieving everything, and we are instruments. But on the other side, we then also have activities which are not directly linked with service. And those activities, we might have like a mental attitude or a block that we don't involve Baba in those things because it's not directly service, it's not directly spiritual. But by doing these activities like badminton, cricket, playing cards, playing Karen, what Baba's saying to us is involve me in everything. You have to become constant yogis. And so don't feel that you need to separate Baba from activities. There was a very nice chit chat we were having once with one of the senior dadas from Karachi. His name is Dada Vishwarathan. He left the body some years back, but he was a very, very powerful yogi, maybe the most yogi among all of us, amongst all the BKs. And someone in the gathering had asked Dada, how do you practice your remembrance with Baba? What do you do inside of your mind? And the answer he gave one time was, I just play badminton with Baba in my mind. And so these seniors, they got this art of how to relate to Baba. And in his mind, it wasn't just that he was experiencing himself as a point in the soul world, but he was also thinking, I can make my yoga creative. And I, in my mind, can play badminton with Baba in the subtle region. That's yoga as well. So let's spend a few minutes being creative as well with Baba. We hear a lot of narrative in the morally about becoming bodiless, being in the land of silence, returning back home, and definitely a large element of Raj Yoga is about going beyond action, beyond the body. But when you look at a lot of these photos, you also get that message from Baba about the joy of action. And it's this very interesting balance that Bapdada has between being bodiless while inside of the body and being detached while having the joy of the action. And I think this is what Baba the Friend brings. How can we be bodiless while inside of the body? How can we remain detached from the action while doing the action with our heart and really enjoying the action? So this joy of action is also part of the friendship with Baba. Baba, the friend, the one who brings us into balance in everything. I hope you all enjoyed that. And I wonder if any of you who are with us now would like to share anything. Would you want to share?
Shanti, thank you so much, brother, for that commentary. It clarified a whole lot in my mind as well, because Baba as the friend and as the companion are the best relationships I have with him as well. The other relationships are a bit of a challenge, but when the companionship and the friendship is like it's so close, it's something that you could be so personal with. Um, but at that point in time, we remember Baba as the point of light in the soul's world, but he's also with us. And it gives you that freedom that everything I do, it's I'm not doing it for me, I'm doing it for everyone around me. And it gives you that happiness, which is something I enjoy. I enjoy my daily work like that, or else it becomes overwhelming. So thank you so much for clarifying the different areas and the mind of Dada Vishwaratan when he is meditating. So you don't feel like if you're doing something that is not, that doesn't have any significance or any impact. So that piece of it was really, really helpful in remembering Baba all day. You're walking, you're talking, you're moving around and doing your daily chores. So it's like you're constantly with Baba, and you're not feeling like um I have to remember Baba all the time. It's not like a chore. It's like something you look forward to. So I appreciate this commentary very, very much this morning. And I think it will be helpful for so many of us. Thank you, Shanti.
Thank you, sister. Yes, we hear that in Morning Dawn about how we started our bhakti at the start of the Copper Age, just worshipping one incorporeal Shiva. And then we become more adulterated over time, and we worship many idols and many different gods. And I think one of the reasons is what you are implying, that we just struggle to connect with an incorporeal God. You know, we are here in the world with actions and relations, and our attachments then form with people we can see, people we can talk to, people we can do things with. And the challenge now at the end of the Iron Age is Baba saying, become yogis again. And we have so many deep sanskars of action and relationship that a lot of the time, even just body consciousness is not the big challenge for us, but it's more action consciousness. It's more relationship consciousness. Those are more like just body image and things. That's not such a big deal for many of us. But it's going to be a case of how do we spiritualize those actions and interactions. And if we just remember Baba as a point, I think we're struggling there because so much of our day is not that. And I think it definitely was an advantage to have Baba there in the corporeal form and at least see Shiv Baba in the corporeal world a bit more into action and interaction. However, ultimately, the experience is to do with our yoga practice. And how much can we bring Baba into those experiences, into those paths? And there's a level of worthiness that we might have to overcome because we can feel that many parts of ourselves or our lives are not worthy of Baba. So we distance Baba from that. Now, obviously, if we're using the vices, then it's not worthy. But if we're not using the vices, then I think we got to just involve Baba in everything. And this is really that naturalness. So sometimes Baba uses the phrase of being a natural yogi, being a automatic yogi, and then you can become a constant yogi. And it really is this it's just not possible to stop actions. Also, many people think that if you just went and live in a center, again, you can have yoga all day. And that's not the case at all either. People who live in the center are maybe more busy than people who are not living in the center, and they might even have less opportunity, depending on the pressure of that center, to be able to sit in yoga as well. So I'm not sure that that would make any difference. What Baba has done is he's created a system where we get both. We get the chance to perform elevated actions, we get the chance of the gathering, and we got to practice our yoga with Shiv Baba. It's this. If he was just wanting us to sit and think of the soul world, he doesn't need to create so much, then, does he? Can just create a Baba's room. That's it. We just go and sit in Baba's room. But that's not what he does. He knows we need to carry on interacting, have actions, have relations. And one thing Baba always says to us is don't give up your responsibilities, don't run away from things, but bring in Baba into those situations. So through that, we get to know what Baba's saying and what Baba's about. And it's really a case of us bringing it into our personal lives. Ambika, did you want to come in?
Because you have the chickens in background making some noise. Um, I have even before Baba, comment to Baba, I have always had conversation with God, not knowing exactly who He is, and that is the main relationship I've had with Baba. Um, Someone who I felt I could always say things to. I have never been a very uh, extrovert person and saying things up from my heart to anyone. There are many things that I would keep to myself. There are very, very few people who I will speak of certain things. But it was always easy with Baba to just have that conversation with Baba, not knowing who Baba actually was, because I never had an image in my mind. And even now, this commentary and going through it is that it reinforced that what I am doing, because everything I do, sometimes in the middle of an action that I'm doing and it's complete, and I will always say, thank you, Baba. And sometimes the consciousness of actually going deep, saying, thank you, Baba, like it's an automatic thing. So I know I always have Baba with me. And as Leonard Ben was saying, sometimes it really is a struggle when you want to sit and become point. Um, I do from time to time, but that doesn't last very long. Um, I've had maybe two experiences of soul consciousness in my entire Brahmin life, which is like 20 years, 22 years now. And sometimes I wonder, am I not doing something to get back those experiences? But I console myself by saying, Baba gives you what you need. And maybe I don't really need that because my faith is there. There's nothing that will shake that faith of who I am. And throughout sometimes in the day, I would go back into asking, I sometimes question myself to go deeper into that point and ask myself, who am I? Who am I? And then I will answer, I am God's child, I'm Baba's child, I am worthy. to get back my self-respect. Because sometimes before coming to Baba, I did not have that self-respect and I did not have that worthiness. When Baba recognized me and brought me to him, that became full. And it didn't matter what other people think or say. I knew God loved me, and that has been important. Human relationship has always been difficult for me to say I love you. My sisters say it to me, but I don't, but it's easy for me to say it with Baba. I will tell Baba, I love you all the time. And I guess it's probably still a lacking in a bit of self-respect that I am unable to reciprocate that when my sisters do say that. But I I have been basically a loner. Um, and so Baba, it was always Baba's companionship before and now more than ever. I still have some work to do on myself because my mind doesn't always remain firm in the sense of it doesn't stray on the other things, but sometimes I feel a bit not doing enough, not doing enough to get results, to go beyond within every situation. I'm able to come back quickly if something distracts me, or there's an obstacle, but I'm unable to do it within a second. So I know that work has to be done, but I'm glad for this commentary because how it was done with this silence, it gave me the opportunity to go into an experience. And what came to me very easily was the scene of Baba being with me, sitting in a class. That came to me, sitting in a class and being in a gathering, but not him as a teacher, but part of a gathering. That came to me very, very strongly. So that's what I want to share. Om Shanti.
Thanks for that. Yeah, I think I know what you mean. And it's also that we're making a shift away, aren't we, from human love, which is tainted, to God's love. And sometimes that can be something in our mind which can take a transition. And some people, they will say the opposite, that they struggle to love God, and that's because their experience is human. Others, it can be, well, we're okay with God, but it's that feeling of or expression of love with human beings. And it's just that love has become something completely else, something else with human. But there's a great safety with loving Baba. And it's that great, and we also know that we don't need to, like, he can't lose anything. We can't lose anything, he can't lose anything. And that's another great aspect of this. Benjamin, do you want to share anything? Your experiences with the friend? I'm sure people would like to listen.
Well, Dadi and Sudesh Menon always said that you start with the relationship of friend with Baba because, it's easier to confide in a best friend, And then, of course, their teacher and Satguru, according to like at Amritwala, child and as a child and a master, and Baba, our parents. Then when we study Muli, it's the teacher and Satguru blessings, and also keeping Baba as a surgeon, because Murli, is healing and there's whatever illness, because all these vices and they are like illness, negativity, and also be honest with Baba. Baba said, just have honest heart, tell Baba everything, check him. So that time checking also, you need to confide in your friend or check with a friend, go to school with a friend or a sister, cousin. Like we go ordinarily to school. You always go with neighbor's friend, child or something, friends, a friend, or you're with your sister, cousins, you don't go on your own. Well, it's different. Even now, it's not that different. Parents take the children, but, we never went alone. We went with our brothers or sisters, cousins. So transfer that relationship with Baba. Like Baba said, then it becomes more interesting, entertaining. And so friend first, because it's easier to confide in a best friend. Even, some things you wouldn't want to tell your sister or cousin. So, but best friend or best friend will tell you also the truth, what you need to do. So according to the Baba said, whatever we do, that's yoga. And also transforming the self, imbibing those, whatever correction that teacher gives or friend gives. I think it's important. And then, of course, companion, and according to the time of the day, according to what you're doing. Or you say some people don't have brother, they always wanted a brother or a sister. So that bothers you, then have Baba as your brother. Because if you were going somewhere, you would have liked your brother to be with you as a protection or as, So I used to do that, and I find even now my eldest brother especially has always looked after myself as child, and always more, others as well, but more. And so I feel now that, he has gone to his other part to play other parts somewhere else. But Baba as a brother looks after us. Same, I feel that whatever he would have done, he used to do, Baba provides, Baba just always helps. All those relationships, because Baba says those relationships with Baba will be helpful throughout the cycle. Whereas human beings, they have their own parts and their own karmic accounts, and they just, are not there anymore for you. So you find that friend first, and then and like whoever you like to study with, have that relationship also.
Yeah, it's a good point. And, we've had good relations with certain human beings as well. And so part of this Raj Yoga is transferring that to Baba as well. So yeah, it's a good point.
I was also thinking that while we will have all the relationship, have companionship with Baba throughout the day or weekend moments, but to gain power, we may not be gaining power as such in that way. My thought has always been, you link one-on-one, concentrated with Baba, as soul to soul. You gain power in that way. And for me, I know that I need to develop a bit more, because that doesn't happen as often, except when you sit, for your Amrit Vela. And in Amrit Vela, sometimes I feel I sit more as a friend in Amrit Vela as well. And evening yoga, I am not always consistent with that. I need work there. But it's gaining power so that you can transform the self, transform the sanskars that they will not transform, but erase those sanskars, those impure sanskars. So that transformation. So I always feel that transformation is not taking place as fast as I want because I don't have this constant link one and one in a concentrated way with Baba.
Yes, I know what you mean, but I don't think it's right that some relationships with Baba are less powerful than others, or I think it's more a case of have we got all relationships? So, like you're saying, at Amrit Vela, I don't think it's the time for Baba as the friend. I think at that time, it's much more about filling and really connecting with Baba as the mother and father, again, the teacher, and during morally evening yoga. I think it's about, for me, it's about world service much more. So I think it's because one is that power where, you know, we're feeling powerful in our intellect. And as you're saying, sometimes we can have that concentrated yoga, excuse me, in the soul world where you're really feeling very, very powerful. But then there's the other power, which is the power of the heart. You know, it's like an emotional strength of being able to accommodate and forgive and adjust and all of these powers. And I think those are also linked with what we might term as softer relationships, like the friend, like the companion. So this is why if we don't have all of the relationships, I think ultimately the Master Almighty Authority is all powers and all virtues. And so sometimes we might not feel powerful in the way that you're describing, but we're able to forgive. We're not absorbing. We're able to let go. Those emotional powerful, or like what should we call them, abilities, they can often come through that process of connecting with Baba in more of a loving form rather than a powerful form.
And at Amrit Vela, as a friend, I think if you have a friend, then you tend to start talking and, rather than, but Baba said, that's the time to feel yourself and claim. But now is the time you should be almost complete. You should have filled yourself and become Baba's right hand and go on a tour with Baba. Baba often says, even Atam Prakash Bhai, and they said, then after 4:45, you spend another 10-15 minutes serving the world, serving the elements, serving your own, body, like elements, any illness or anything, because you are at Amrit Vela, you are the child and a master. So sit with Baba as a child, Baba's right hand or Baba's child, and then as a master, you are filled, like you have claimed your rights, but you are going on a tour with Baba as a master, and you are also awakening other souls and asking them to claim their rights. And also serving the birds, animals, and other souls, and especially the elements, because, because of us, all these our actions has impacted, so the elements, as we can see, there's so much pollution, and that's why Baba says all the time have pure positive thoughts, because whatever thoughts, whatever vibrations we are giving is impacting the birds, animals, people, and the atmosphere. And we are seeing how everything is polluted and unhealthy. Like even animals are getting the illnesses that human beings get, cancer. I never thought that dogs, cats, they would get cancer and things. I always thought it was the human being. But now you see more and more how they have operations, and so we have impacted, because of our habits, and we have instilled it in them. So at that time is the time to go with Baba. Baba says you become ready, and Baba takes us on a tour, but we don't have that controlling, ruling power or clear intellect that we have that touching and catching power yet. And that's why what Baba does take us. Baba often says in Bob messages as well. But it's because it's the right method at the right time and right relationship with Baba. Then you will experience. But in the evening, Baba says you are like ancestor souls and serve as ancestors, sitting at the root of the tree, and also as a seed at the top, like you see Brahma Baba is sitting at the roots of the tree with all the ancestor souls. And then when the tree is full and the fruit is ripened, means we have filled ourselves. And then what happens, there's a seed, and then seed is we sow the seed again, and the seed becomes a fruit again. Another shoots come and another tree. And so that's when you can have a seed stage, Baba said one, and then that way you stay on top of with Brahma Baba, who is at the top. If you look at the picture of the tree, Kalpa tree, at the root are the ancestors are sitting, and there's a seed there. But when the seed is ripened, then the another tree is, and the fruit is at the top, and the fruit is ripened, and the seeds, its seeds are planted again. So we are planting you know what I mean? And so you stay and picture yourself with Brahma Baba as an angel, as a seed stage, and angel. Baba said 3 words: Nirakari, Nirvikari, Nirankari. Egoless, bodiless, voiceless, and egoless. And you stay with Baba and serve or stay on the top of the world, the globe, and also at the top of the tree where Brahma Baba is waiting for all of us as a commander-in-chief, waiting for us to be ready so we can go home. And but before that, serve the entire world with and all the nature, animals, everything. So that's when the seed stage, that we are spreading, how the seeds spread and grow again. So it's the new tree. Baba says this tree is rotten now. So we are planting, we are giving these vibrations, the water and sunshine as master, son of knowledge. And the seed, when the fruit is ripened and the seed is full, it bursts, and then another tree is sprouted. So in the evening, sit at the root with the ancestor souls, and at the top as a seed, master seed.
So thank you for attending today, and we got something to practice. Baba is the friend, and we'll continue in future weeks with also different practices. We have other relationships. We also have different forms, different titles, many things to practice. And the only way we can really unlock the pleasure is by doing it. There's certain things we can just understand theoretically, but it doesn't bring us that same attainment until we do it. So my recommendation is sometimes just to do things, just see how it goes. And then through that doing, you will actually begin to make it your own and experience Baba in a different way and get to know Baba better. Mm-hmm. So thanks to those of you who are able to join us live this time. And also warm greetings to those of you tuning in later through YouTube. Have a great week, and we look forward to connecting with you another week. Shanti.
Shanti, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a beautiful rest of the week.
You too. Shanti.